So I went on a retreat with Sarah in the summer of 2021. I went to Peru and she co-hosted that retreat with MJB, and the maestro and maestra that were there were Noe and Sylvia, and that team of people couldn't have been more perfect for me. And I think before I get into the value of the retreat and the ayahuasca journeys as a whole, I just have to speak on my desire to attend the retreat and how it felt like a non-negotiable experience, that I had never done any sort of like hallucinogen. I am very much value my well-being and am very into self-care and have really been on a self-care journey of my own for a solid year and a half prior to this retreat, and it felt like I have to do this, and I am so grateful that I did for so many reasons. The people that I met, the experience that I had, and not only that, but the lasting change that it has created in my life, beginning with our preparation, my preparation with Sarah, and how prepared I felt whenever it came time to go into ceremony with Noe and Sylvia and MJB. It was clear to me why I was there and what I needed in order to evolve into the part of me that was coming and I wasn't sure how to embrace. And that initial preparation with Sarah, along with the dieta, really allowed me an opportunity to dive deep and recognize what was holding me back, what beliefs I had that kept me safe and also kept me stuck, and really understanding that in order to grow how I consciously wanted to, I had to really work on the subconscious beliefs that I had. And from there, going into ceremony, I had 4 extremely pleasant experiences, all in very different ways, all eye-opening. And there's one ceremony that I really feel compelled to speak on because I think ultimately it was the most transformational for me. I, especially in working with Sarah, had realized how much I had processed any trauma or any of the limitations that I believed that I had. I am a critical thinker, and I had thought through them all and felt like so much is resolved, and I still feel like there's something in me that I can't access. And come our 4th ceremony, my 3rd ceremony was just like complete bliss. I felt so amazing and connected, and I understood things in ways I had never understood them before. And on the day of the 4th ceremony, I was really tired and felt this heaviness about myself that is not typical, and I went into that ceremony kind of unsure if I was going to partake or simply hold space. And when it came down to it, I partook, and I had the most incredible release. And what that looked like was Sylvia came to my space and sung me an Icaro, and I bawled and bawled and bawled for a very long time and drank water and cried more. And it was beautiful too, because that particular evening of ceremony, there was a rainstorm for the first time since we had been in the rainforest, and there was thunder and lightning, and it was just pouring, and I was crying, and I kept asking ayahuasca, like, what am I supposed to take away from this? And it was this very clear message that we can process our emotions with our mind, but ultimately our mind and our body and our emotions are all connected in this one thing. And I am a huge proponent that we have input and we must have output. We must be this flowing being. And I was able to have this release of sadness and grief that I knew I had experienced and hadn't processed in the moment, and emotionally hadn't processed ever. You know, I had logically processed it and put it all into like very tidy compartments of like, this is healed. I have come full circle with this situation. And I very much feel that and believe that. And then to have this experience of release. And I tell you, whenever I had finished this 2 hour, maybe, like just sobbing and crying and being held and being supported in that, I laid down and I looked at Sarah and said, I can breathe again. And it was the most beautiful experience of my life. And what was even more powerful about that experience was the hypnosis element, that after we left the jungle and I came back to my Western life, I had the opportunity to work with Sarah for another 4 weeks. And at that point, we really worked on my beliefs around like what it meant to process sadness, and that integration of, you know, you have these experiences, but then they don't become necessarily like tangible elements of your life until you're able to implement them into your belief systems. And whenever we can implement new beliefs, when we can reprogram our subconscious mind with these insights that we have gained from plant medicine, from ayahuasca in this example, it has allowed me to bring that knowledge and wisdom into every element of my life, and to believe that I am capable of shedding tears and still being respected, and I am capable of crying and not feeling weak or worthless, and to realize that at somewhere in my life I had felt that way, that when I cry I am no longer heard or respected, and to realize like how human that is, and to, with this new belief system, have the opportunity to teach myself as an adult, like, this makes you more human, this is an essential part of the human experience and what it means to process emotions. And I really can't speak highly enough of Sarah or the individuals she chooses to work with, or the group of individuals that we had on this retreat. It was such a beautiful connection to self and this small community and nature, being out in the rainforest, in the Amazon rainforest in Peru. And that is my reflection on it all. I could go on for hours. My biggest insight would be that if you feel the smallest inkling of this is right for me, explore that and don't allow little things to get in the way of what you are requiring for this next transformation within yourself.